Welcome to another episode of Seen and Heard, a new series from the Autism Dad podcast where we get like a 15-minute glimpse into what someone else's life is like raising an autistic child so that we get a better idea of what level 1, level 2, level 3 can look like from family to family, right? Because everybody is different. Everybody experiences things in different ways. And just because something seems unfamiliar to you does not mean that it is any less real or valid or important or worthy or anything, right? So the whole point of these episodes, my guest today is Liz Covington. She's here to share a 15-minute glimpse into her life and her journey with her family. And we only have 15 minutes, so we're going to just jump right in. I hope you guys enjoy it as much as I enjoyed recording it. And there we go. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it and for working through the technical hiccups. Could you take a second, introduce yourself, and tell us a little bit about your family?
Sure. My name is Liz Covington, and I have 4 kids. I live in Utah, and my oldest is 18. He'll be 19 in a couple of weeks. He was diagnosed with autism when he was 10. He was diagnosed with ADHD and ODD when he was 4. And then I have 2 other kids that are, one has ADHD, the other has no diagnosis, and then I have a 10-year-old who we believe is on the spectrum that we haven't had a diagnosis yet. So.
Can you tell us a little bit about like some of the daily challenges that you guys face in your family?
Yeah, it's changed a lot over the years. When we had our son diagnosed, every single day, everything we did was a challenge. Trying to go to school, trying to get dressed, trying to go to bed, trying to eat, everything was a challenge. And that has changed. Now it's just sort of like being ready to roll with whatever needs to be accommodated. Like, for example, today he's in college, but it's snowing and he didn't feel comfortable driving. So having to just kind of rearrange my schedule so I can drive him to college and then pick him up from college. And then with my 10-year-old, it's like everything is just pretty normal in a lot of ways. But then she'll get a knot in her hair and it's suddenly not normal. Like she can't function because she's so uncomfortable with the knot in her hair, but she can't let me brush it. And we're just trying to problem solve and accommodate constantly.
That can be exhausting. That's definitely a challenge, especially with multiple kids. So we talked a little bit about challenges. What's one of the most recent victories that you guys have celebrated? Because we celebrate all the victories. It doesn't matter, big or small. What's one that kind of pops into your head that was more recent?
So yesterday, my husband's out of town and we just got tons of snow. And I asked my son if he could shovel the driveway. And he's done it maybe once. And he's not great at it. But it used to just be so hard to get him to do anything. And just to be able to ask him and tell him, you're going to have to figure it out. I don't know where the snow shovels are. Just do the best you can. And for him to just put his jacket on, his tennis shoes, and spend 2 hours shoveling the driveway without giving me a hard time, without needing me to like go out and show him exactly where the shovel is, exactly how to push it out of the snow. It was such a big deal. It was a total win.
That's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge. Wow. And I mean, that's independence too, right? Like that's being able to function independently and problem solve. And that's really cool. Very, very cool. Can you describe your kids to me? Like, what are some of their strengths? What are some of their challenges? Were they diagnosed level 1, 2, or 3, or was it before they used levels?
Yeah. My oldest he was just diagnosed as high functioning autism when he was 9 or 10. And his name is Bennett. He's always just been so cute. And that was kind of terrible because people always wanted to like touch him and play with him and interact with him. And I remember taking him to church and someone saying, I'm Bennett's teacher, but I don't know if he likes me. And I was thinking, I don't even know if he likes me, and I'm his mom. He was just so slow to like people, but he was also just super smart, super verbal. And I remember also taking him somewhere and the kids are all showing us their toys and Bennett pulls out this big wad of fuzz that he found in the couch and he was like, this is my fuzz. And I thought, okay, he's just like a really strange kid, right? So he's always been really unique, really interesting, really fun. But he also was really hard, always hard. Like I could never take him to like the gym daycare, or even my mother-in-law would come and be like, "Let me hold him," and he would scream and cry the whole time. So he was always just took a lot of attention and a lot of time, but loved to sing and just really fun. And then my fourth child, the one that we believe has autism, she's similar, like so cute. People always wanted to like play with their hair and play with her, but she has always just kind of like been really not warm and friendly. But it's crazy because now she's in school, she's in fourth grade, and she has so many friends, but they don't understand why she doesn't want to do dance. She doesn't want to do gymnastics. She doesn't want to do horseback riding because all she can handle is school. And she does her best, she connects, but then when she comes home, she can't do anything else. And it's just different, you know?
Yeah. I think autism looks different for every person in every household. And I think it's important that we recognize that and understand that, because otherwise everybody thinks everything is the same, and we're invalidating people's challenges and experiences, and the whole leveling system is super confusing. I appreciate you sharing all of that. The last two questions are going to be kind of the same, but a little bit different. What's one thing that you wish the outside world, like people outside of the autism community, better understood about autism and your kids and your family?
I think the most important thing is that every kid is good, you know, that they all want to be connected, they all want to be appreciated, and they're all trying their best. They're doing their best. It just looks totally different from time to time. And just not judging a kid based on how they're behaving right now, because you don't know what they're feeling inside. You know, like when my 10-year-old looks like she's being super rude and bratty to me, if someone's sitting there thinking, wow, that is a really rude, snotty kid, like they don't understand all the emotional and physical burden that she's carrying as a 10-year-old that many of us haven't experienced. And when you're just always giving my kids and any kid the benefit of the doubt, you can really see that goodness and that desire to do well, even though sometimes it looks terrible.
Do you feel like the world like understands any of this as is? Like, do you feel seen and heard?
I feel like the messaging is such like inclusive, accept, accommodate. The messaging is spot on, but the actual real world application of it, like, I'm sorry, you think my child is a bully because they said something rude to your child, but my child is processing everything in a totally different way. They're under tons of stress. You know, like even the other day, I got called from the school and my kid did something wrong, and the principal was upset because he was laughing about it. And I'm thinking, you're expecting him to respond in a way that meets what you think is the correct response for that behavior, without understanding that like he could be feeling super guilty and bad about what happened, but his response is to laugh when he's uncomfortable. And like you're
Sure.
basically shaming him because of how he naturally responds as a kid,
Yeah, it's like
you
people
know?
who like laugh at a funeral, right? They don't think it's funny. They just
Right.
like they process it differently, and they cope in different ways. And judging kids and holding them accountable for what's on the surface without understanding what's going beneath the surface, I think leads to a lot of misunderstanding and
Totally.
unnecessary challenge. Yeah. Um, so I want to ask you the same questions as it relates to the autism community, like our own people. Do you, what do you wish the autism community as a whole, like the other families all around us, regardless of the levels that their kids are, what do you wish that they would better understand about autism and your family, your challenge, your struggle, that kind of stuff?
So sometimes I felt for a long time like I was outside the autism community because my kids were so high functioning. They super verbal. They physically looked very normal. And I just felt really uncomfortable, like I didn't belong in the autism community. And I think that's changing, where we're accepting that like the way it looks is just so different across the board. But I do think that being inclusive means everyone, right? Every level,
Mhm.
and making room for everyone's experience. I can't tell you how many times I heard, oh, that's not what autistic kids do, or autistic kids aren't like that. And I was like, well, mine's autistic and this is what they're doing. So I guess they do. But I do think that's getting better.
Do you, so I guess the last part of this would be, do you feel seen and heard by the rest of the autism community?
I do. I didn't for a long time, but I think part of that was me too, just not feeling comfortable there, and so maybe
Sure.
resisting going in. But yeah, I feel now, especially online, because we have so many more of us that are connecting. It's not just like your community that's in your neighborhood anymore. So yes, I do feel that way more than I used to.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. It's so interesting to see and experience how every family, uh, like their autism related experiences can be so profoundly different, even though the label is the exact same. And, you know, a lot of your experiences echo what so many other parents are going through. And there's like a disconnect somewhere where people feel isolated and alone and ignored or invisible or whatever, because and maybe you feel like your kid doesn't fit in because they don't, you know, have enough needs, or the challenges aren't hard enough compared to whatever it is that we feel. And we need to stop that. Right. Like, and just, we're all part of the same family. Everybody's challenges are different. Level 1 doesn't always mean easy. Level 3 doesn't always mean impossible. And even though our kids may have profound challenges and on different paths, they're still kids. And as parents, we want what's best for them. And in the 25 years I've been doing this, I mean, hands down, we are so much better working together than if we are at odds, or we're divided, or we're not embracing each other and allowing our different experiences to coexist. So I want to thank you for taking the time to share your family with us, so that people can better understand and be informed. You know, I think that matters, and I think you did a great job, and I really appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you. It's fun to be here.
Before we go, I just want to take a quick second and say thank you guys for taking the time to tune in today. I really appreciate it. I am so excited about this new season and all the seen and heard episodes that you guys are going to have coming your way over the coming weeks. I really appreciate it. Thank you for everything. And yeah, good stuff, guys. So we will talk soon. Have a great week, and catch you later.